Life isn't a dress rehearsal. You don't get a second act to live the same moment again. This, right here, right now, is your one shot, your one opportunity to create a life that sets your soul on fire. Yet too many people settle. They shrink their dreams to fit their comfort zone. They convince themselves that good enough is enough. But the truth is, you were never born to settle. You were born to live fully, fiercely, and unapologetically. Most people live their entire lives on autopilot. They wake up to an alarm they hate, drag themselves through routines they never question, and call that living. But deep down, something feels off. They sense there's more out there. A spark, a hunger, a calling. But they silence it because comfort feels safer than change. They trade purpose for predictability, passion for security, and potential for routine. Yet the truth is, comfort is the silent killer of dreams. When you settle into autopilot, you stop living and start existing. You start dying slowly, one unchallenged day at a time. Life doesn't reward those who drift. It rewards those who decide. Every single day, you're faced with a choice. You can either design your life or let someone else design it for you. You can be the sculptor or the clay. The difference between the people who light up the world and the ones who fade into the background isn't luck. It's awareness. Awareness that life is happening right now. Awareness that your time is limited. Awareness that the clock doesn't stop ticking just because you're uncertain or afraid. The moment you wake up to this truth, something shifts inside you. You start realizing that no one is coming to rescue you. You are responsible for what happens next. Your happiness, your growth, your peace, they all depend on your willingness to take control. You can't keep waiting for the right time to chase what you want. The right time is now. Because if you're not steering your own ship, you're drifting wherever the current takes you. And the current doesn't care about your dreams. It only carries you where the crowd goes. You must interrupt the cycle. You must stop living life as if you'll get another chance. You won't. There are no rehearsals, no retakes, no next time. Every sunrise is a reminder that you're blessed with one more opportunity to make your mark. You can either use it or waste it. And if you're wasting it on things that don't ignite your soul, you're settling. Settling for mediocrity. Settling for less than what you're capable of becoming. The truth is, people settle because it's easier. It's easier to conform than to create. It's easier to blend in than to stand out. It's easier to stay in the familiar pain than to risk the unknown. But what's easy now will cost you later. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. One day, you'll look back and ask yourself, why didn't I try? Why didn't I go after it? Don't wait until it's too late to realize that safety was an illusion all along. The only real security in life is growth. The only real comfort is knowing you gave it everything you had. You have to wake yourself up every single day with a decision to live intentionally. Don't let your job, your past, or your circumstances define you. Don't let your fear dictate your future. You are not your limitations. You are your potential waiting to be unleashed. Life becomes extraordinary the moment you start living by design, not default. And that begins when you stop asking for permission to be great. No one is going to hand you your dream life on a silver platter. You have to build it one decision, one action, one relentless day at a time. You must crave meaning more than comfort. Because comfort numbs you, purpose fuels you. The difference between existing and living lies in the fire that burns inside you. The moment you stop settling, you start expanding, you start taking risks, embracing challenges, and breaking boundaries. You start feeling alive again. You begin to notice that life isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create. Don't wait for motivation, build momentum. Don't wait for clarity. Take action and clarity will follow. Life isn't about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself. And creation doesn't happen in autopilot. It happens in awareness, in courage, in the decision to refuse mediocrity. You only get one chance at this life. Don't live it half asleep. Refuse to settle for ordinary. Refuse to drift through your days without purpose. Wake up, take control, and live with the kind of fire that makes every heartbeat count. Because when you stop living on autopilot, you start living the life you were truly meant to live. When you stop settling, something powerful happens. You reclaim your authority over your own life. You stop waiting for a sign, for approval, for someone to tell you it's okay to go after what you truly want. You realize that everything you're searching for, success, fulfillment, happiness, starts with one person, you. The moment you take full ownership of your life, everything changes. You stop blaming your circumstances, your past, or anyone else for where you are. You begin to understand that no one is responsible for your growth but you. That realization is both terrifying and liberating because it means you have no excuses left. It means that you, and only you, have the power to change your story. Most people never demand enough from themselves. They expect average results, but put in average effort. They want greatness, but cling to comfort. But life doesn't work that way. You can't cheat the process. You can't whisper your dreams and expect them to shout back with success. The world doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to standards. The higher your standards, the stronger your results. When you raise the bar for yourself, life rises to meet it. When you expect more, give more, push more, and stay committed no matter how hard it gets, you begin to unlock a part of yourself you never knew existed. It's not about being perfect. It's about being relentless. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing through when your mind tells you to quit. Because the truth is, growth never happens in comfort. You grow when you face the things that scare you. You evolve when you challenge yourself beyond what feels possible. Every time you push a little harder, you expand your limits. You discover that the ceiling you once thought existed was never real. It was built by fear, by self-doubt, by the opinions of others. And the moment you decide to demand more from yourself, those limits begin to crumble. The people who achieve extraordinary results aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to give up. They're the ones who outwork their doubt, outlast their fear, and outperform their excuses. They've learned that progress is built through consistency, not convenience. You can't show up only when it's easy. You have to show up especially when it's hard, because that's where transformation happens. In the struggle, in the challenge, in the discomfort. Every setback, every failure, every rejection is simply feedback. It's life testing your commitment to see how badly you want it. When you stop settling, you start holding yourself to a new level of accountability. You stop being okay with good enough. You start realizing that mediocrity is poison. It kills your potential slowly. You begin to crave growth, to chase better habits, to surround yourself with people who challenge you to rise. You stop seeking validation and start seeking evolution. You stop comparing yourself to others and start competing with who you were yesterday. That's where real power lies, in the daily decision to be better than the day before. Demanding more from yourself isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about believing you're capable of more. It's about understanding that potential means nothing without execution. It's about pushing through your fears not because it's easy, but because you owe it to yourself to see how far you can go. You can't live an extraordinary life with an average mindset. You can't reach your peak while thinking like everyone else. The world belongs to those who show up with intensity, purpose, and a relentless hunger for more. Stop saying you'll do it later. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. They don't exist. You don't need to be ready, you need to be willing. Every great change begins with one simple decision: I will no longer settle. Once that decision is made, momentum takes over. You start showing up differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You start to feel alive again because now you're chasing something real. You have one life. Don't live it beneath your potential. Demand more from your mind, from your body, from your spirit. Challenge your excuses, rewrite your story, and never forget that your standard sets your destiny. The moment you expect more from yourself than anyone else ever could, life will meet you at that level. You'll stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. You'll stop dreaming of the life you want and start living it. That's what happens when you decide that settling is no longer an option. You transform from who you are into who you were always meant to become. At the end of the day, what truly matters is not how much you've done, but how deeply you've lived. Too many people spend their lives trapped in cycles of business, chasing paychecks, titles, and approval, yet they feel empty inside. They fill their calendars but starve their souls. They mistake movement for progress and comfort for happiness. But life isn't about surviving another week. It's about feeling alive every single day. You weren't created to simply exist. You were created to experience life in all its colors, its highs and lows, its challenges and victories. You have one life, and it deserves more than being lived half-heartedly. It's easy to fall into the trap of doing what's expected. You go to school, get a job, follow the rules, and check all the boxes that society calls success. But deep down, there's a whisper that says, is this really it? Is this all there is? That whisper is your soul reminding you that you're meant for more. It's the part of you that craves adventure, purpose, meaning, and freedom. When you ignore that voice, you settle. You accept a life that looks good from the outside but feels hollow on the inside. And eventually, that emptiness grows louder than your excuses. Creating a life that feeds your soul starts with honesty. You have to ask yourself tough questions. Am I living or just existing? Am I doing what fulfills me, or am I just doing what's familiar? Most people avoid those questions because they're afraid of the answers. They fear the changes they'll have to make once they admit the truth. But ignoring your truth doesn't make it go away. It only builds quiet regret. And regret is one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry. You don't want to reach the end of your life realizing you never really lived it. You don't need permission to start living fully. You don't need approval from anyone to chase the life that excites you. You simply need courage. The courage to listen to your heart and the strength to follow it even when the world doesn't understand. The best moments in life aren't found in safety. They're found in risk, in passion, in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. Life is short, and every day you spend living for someone else's expectations is a day you lose living for your own fulfillment. When you create a life that feeds your soul, everything changes. You stop chasing happiness and start creating it. You stop measuring your worth by material things and start measuring it by how aligned you feel with who you truly are. You begin to find joy in simple things, in growth and love, in contribution, in connection. You realize that fulfillment doesn't come from having more. It comes from being more. Being present, being grateful, being authentic. You begin to see that peace isn't found in a perfect life. It's found in living a life that feels true to you. You can't let fear be the reason you play small. Fear will tell you that change is risky, that stepping into the unknown will break you. But the truth is, staying stuck breaks you far worse. The comfort zone may feel safe, but it slowly suffocates your dreams. You weren't meant to fit into a box. You were meant to break through it. Every dream, every passion, every calling inside you exists for a reason. They're not random. They're directions from life itself, guiding you toward your highest purpose. So take that trip, start that business, write that book, speak your truth, love fully, forgive quickly. Be bold enough to design a life that reflects who you really are. Because when you do, you become magnetic. You inspire others to do the same. You show the world what it looks like to live without regret, without fear, without settling. You remind people that life is meant to be felt, not just managed. You have one life, make it extraordinary. Don't wait for someday. Don't wait for the stars to align or for everything to be perfect. Perfection will never come, but purpose is waiting right now. Your time is too precious to spend it living small. Make decisions that feed your spirit. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher, and fill your days with things that make your heart race. Because when you stop living for appearances and start living for alignment, you begin to taste the real meaning of freedom. That's what it means to live a life that feeds your soul. A life that makes every breath feel like a gift, and every moment a reminder that you refuse to settle.